Shemai GTA chums, I'm going to take you through another garage tour. This time it's the muscle car garage that I've just finally completed. After quite a long time, I realised I've got way too many, not too many, lots of muscle cars. So it by no means goes from best to worst, but the best car is probably in front of you, at least for Imani Tech reasons. So this is, of course, the Buffalo STX, which is the Dodge Charger. Oh Christ. Yeah, the Dodge Charger. I got that one right for a change. Hooray. So yeah, it's got Imanitech, so it's got the missile prevention. It's also the fastest car in its class. Yes, the Vigero over there is faster in a straight line, but it won't beat it on a track unless you have the HSW variant, which I mean, I think consistently most people would find that it wouldn't be great, even in that scenario, because still think this is the best muscle car to race, and it's the one I will certainly be choosing in the future to race, should I want to race a muscle car. Obviously, all these muscle cars can do wheelies, but the Buffalo also does an excellent wheelie. It has some great customization to it. Maybe not that the hood isn't the one you want, but there's a lot you can change it however you wish. You don't need to do just what I've done here. Some people say it should be a bit wider as well with a wide body kit, but there we go, that is life. But the next one is the Tulip. This is one of my favorites. It's very difficult to drive to get used to. That is the first thing I should say. Like the cornering is very much 70s muscle car, because this is a beautiful 70s car though, isn't it? Pulls great wheelies, quite a reasonably easy wheelie as well. And once you get used to it, you can just power slide around the corners. You know, unlike the STX there, that drives like a race car in many ways, not like that's not like a muscle car at all, but this is a true, proper bow selector muscle car from the 1970s and recommended. It's cheap as well, it's only like $500,000. But this next is probably the best sounding muscle car in the game. Yes, it's a Coquette Blackfin, and I got most of these cars on discount. This is another discounter I got. It's a Corvette, an old-fashioned Corvette. Is that the 50s? I can't remember. But it just looks great. There's not much customization on it, and these rims are original and unique to the Blackfin. But best of all, it pulls awesome wheelies as well as having an awesome noise, and it's just a great feel driving the car with the noise it makes. Like a lot of people say, another car it has great engine noise, but a lot of these have great engine noises as well. There's not many that don't have a good engine noise, but this I think has the best engine noise. And you can put a hard top on it as well if you don't like the convertible look. It is getting towards winter now, isn't it? Autumn is here. Next, we have the vamos, means to go, doesn't it, in Spanish? But this is the two-door equivalent to the Tulip. In many ways, I think it's better. I mean, the Tulip is one of the few four-door cars next to the STX, which is a four-door. But this is a two-door variant, and I think it has slightly better customization to it, with that skull and crossbones. It's amazing. The rims are great. Is that they're not Drag SPL? Those are the other ones. But yeah, it's just a great car. Great for pulling wheelies, but again, if you're not very good at cornering, if you don't like the way 70s muscle cars handle, then you're not going to enjoy it. Also, Bruffy goes on about the kind of what is it, the engine doodah that Rockstar did to basically bugger it up. That's been taken off, so it's not that bad anymore. I mean, it was always good. I liked the way it drives. You're just not going to drive it in a race, but why would you? It's a 70s muscle car. Speaking of not driving cars in races, this is it. This is the Dodge Challenger. Yeah, the Hellcat, or the also known as it's known as the Hellfire in the game. It's got some great customization to it. You can put a wheelie bar on, but I wouldn't bother. It does decent wheelies, but the wheelies are quite tricky to pull. So it's overall it's a hard car to drive. It has a lot of slip on the corners, so you're going to be power sliding around a lot. So you need to manage your cornering technique on those sharp corners. But yeah, on a big wide corner, it's not as bad. It's fast in a straight line as well. It's great for drag racing. So is the STX, but this one is absolutely brilliant. But it is beaten by a few other cars. It's not the best. The car it gets beaten by is probably this one, the Vigero ZX, the latest one, the ZX, the latest. Now, I did slate this quite a bit, but I do like it, because the reason why I was cracking on about it is because people make it out to be the best car ever, but it isn't. You know, the Vigero ZX isn't the best. The Camaro, the new Camaro, it's very nice, great looking car, great customization. The rims, I do like the rims on it, although you might want to change them if you want to colour them in. but going for that chrome effect looks great. I like these are unique kind of louvres as well on the back. You can go for more standard louvres, and similarly, I like the spoiler. You're going to want a spoiler on it because it slips a lot on the corners. You'll be doing a lot of power sliding, and that's what this car's about. It's about fun. Yes, you could race it as well, but you'll have to get used to how it drives to race to get the consistent lap time. So yeah, it's a raceable car. Definitely a fun car to race if you're bored of the Buffalo STX, for sure, worth considering. I think about close to 2 million with a full price. So yeah, reasonable enough price. It's not bad looking at what kind of nonsense we've had out recently. So definitely worth considering adding that one to your garage. Actually, what I should say is that the Hellfire is still worth considering because that is like a cheaper version of that. It's about 1/3 or 1/4 the price. So I'd go with a Hellfire. I've got to be honest. If you're stuck for cash, but you're going to get the Hellfire anyway, so just get it. Yeah, next level, eh? Is there any sense to these levels? There kind of is. It's kind of my favourites down below, but my favourites are on here as well. And this is not one of my favourites. This fun truck, the Yosemite, the Yosemite lowered. What the hell is it called? The Yosemite Custom? No, it's the Yosemite Drift Yosemite, that's the one. Now this is a fun car for drifting around corners. You want to buy this not for driving in a straight line. You could drag race it, I suppose, but it's really for slipping around corners. It drifts like a mother freaker, but very, very difficult to handle. But the customization on it, I'm still not sure I've managed my best customization on this car. So next time it's on discount, I'm looking forward to re-customizing it, maybe with something more perhaps basic, less livery. I think the liveries are what kind of let it down. This livery is quite a decent one, decent car overall. But if you're not don't enjoy cars that power slide, drift all over the place, don't go in a straight line, this is not for you. Maybe, well, actually, this car's great. This is another one of the 70s cars, the class Impaler, based on the Impaler. I like it. It's got great customization to it. I think I've found my favourite customization of this car now. There's quite a few liveries for it, but there's only a couple that are decent. But you can customize it nicely. There's some good options, and the seats on the inside look great as well. Probably mainly because I've coloured them in white. But it's got that 70s look to it, and it drives just awesome. It's a lot easier to drive than the likes of the Vamos. So, but it's still got that 70s feel to it. It still is very easy to pull wheelies with this car. Very easy indeed. Speaking about easy to wheelie cars, we also have this little beast. What is it? It's like the Ford funny car thing, isn't it? The Vapid Hustler, that's the one. Very cheap. I mean, both these last cars are cheap cars. This has decent customization with it as well. Not a huge selection, but enough to warrant the very cheap price. You know, it's underpriced if anything. Pulls good wheelies. You can power slide it around corners. It drives like an old-fashioned drag car, doesn't it? A hot rod, essentially. Great car, well worth considering. I mean, these are all worth considering, but this is one for the classic enthusiasts, just like sliding around corners and pulling wheelies, basic stuff. And here, next, we have the custom variant of the Challenger. Yeah, the old Challenger, I think it is. The Bravado Gauntlet Classic Custom, that's the one. So this is the Benny's variant of the Classic, the Gauntlet Classic. Now, the Gauntlet Classic doesn't have this nose cone. So this is something used by racers back in the day in the old America. I'm not obviously not American. I don't know. I don't have it in my brain the actual history of these cars, but I did research it back in the day. It's that guy who does the Bluebird, that kind of blue color. The liveries are not great on this car. I got to be honest. That's why I've not put one on. But you put this massive wing on. It's like the Bluebird variant. It's nice, very nice car. There's a few cars you can make it look like. There's a Plymouth. There's the Challenger variant. They all had there's a few. They had these nose cones. They had these massive mega wings on the back of them. 70s beauty. You know, I think it's great. And at first, it takes a while to get used to driving it because it power slides around the corners, but it's quite a tricky beast. But once you master it, you can consistently get great cornering on it, and once you get it looking nice, you're going to enjoy it. But obviously that nose cone isn't for everyone, in which case I'd just not get the Benny's variant, because the other one has great customization anyway, and there's no need to get the Benny's variant unless you want this particular variety of car, which is a rare one, so it's worth one for the collections. Here we have it. We have the Greenwood, very nice car, the most recent one. Again, this is one with the latest DLC. It's a muscle car, but it's also got iMani tech. So this one has a missile lock-on jammer, so you can drive in session safely. It pulls great wheelies. It drives like a 70s car, but it handles a lot better than most of the other 70s cars. So you can corner nicely with it. There's a bit of slip on the corners for sure, bit of roll to the body, but considering it's a 70s car, it drives pretty great, and it's pretty fast in a straight line. You could drag race it. Very nice car indeed. Doesn't have bulletproof windows like the other Imani Tech cars though, but it can take, I think, a couple more missiles. There's a few errors with the bumper, the rear bumper in particular. I had to put the black plastic one on because the other one, the body coloured, the secondary coloured one, would not stay on the car. I need to keep buying it every day, and I got sick of it. Great looking car though, great customization options, some pretty good liveries, although you might not like this one. Just imagine it without it. Close your eyes and blink. Next car is one of my favourite of all. Yes, it's the Mustang, a more recent Mustang, very nice. I don't know the variant of Mustang, of course I don't, but I know I like driving this car. You can even, it's a tuners class, so you can stance it, and you can put a lowered stance on it. It power slides around corners really good, but it does corner good. It does corner really, really nicely, as well as power sliding. So it offers a great balance of fun and race competitiveness, which I think you miss out on with the Buffalo STX, because you need to put a handbrake on to power slide that around. But this you don't need to. The What's it called? Oh, but Jesus, I've forgotten the name now. There's a lot of letters in it. ASP, Vapid Dominator ASP. I think this is my favourite Dominator out of all of them, just because of the way it drives, the customization options to it. Especially now I've finally customized it properly and made it look great. I have a few other customization ideas on this car, but I think my recommendation is keep it simple. There's a few livery options, and don't ruin it by trying to make it too complicated. But it's a great looking car, great driving car. You could even be competitive in tuners races, but only against people who don't know how to drive, because it's top end of medium with tuners races. But a great car for fun reasons. It was on discount there recently. Very nice car, and it's one of my favorites. Just buy it now. What is this one? Well, this is it's a Camaro, or it's the other one. I like the tinted glass you've got on the Imponte Ruiner. So a Camaro, or what's it called? What is the Ruiner? It's like the Firebird, the Trans Am. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, the modern Trans Am, or 90s one even, not really modern. But I think it looks great because I like these the honeycomb rear brake lights, and looks great. And I think the front end is nice as well. Those massive scoops are ridiculous, but it's just what the car was. It just looked super over the top. I'm just a bit disappointed with the performance. It does handle better than the Vigero ZX. The cornering skill, it's got a lot more grip to the tyres. It does pull easier wheelies as well. The Vigero ZX has got very difficult wheelie pulling, but this one you can pull wheelies very easy. Much more forgiving car than the Vigero as well. Alas, it is slower. And it's less fun for power sliding. I'd get this one for pulling wheelies and perhaps even just driving around without crashing. I get the Vigero for fun and just you can even get them both for driving around. This one's just better at cornering basically. Customization wise, it's decent. You can get rid of those big vents on the front and that kind of thing. Got decent enough customization, and but yeah, it doesn't offer anything specifically exciting to the class, so the 1 million may not be worth it for you. But so then again, the Vigero might not be worth it for you at the much more expensive price of like 300 grand more, I think. So get them on discounts, basically. That's what I'm saying with the expensive ones. Speaking of which, here it is, the original Ruiner. Yes, the original Trans Am. Well, it's not original, is it? This is an older Trans Am. Still old, but not old, or it's middle of old, I don't know. It's a great car. It's not got the flip up lights. They look a bit flip up, but they're not. But these it comes, you see them on the street, these, but you can put these massive scoops on it. This is what we had before we had the latest Ruiner, Ruiner with letters on the end. And this is a great car. It's got some good customization for it, and it's free. Pick it up off the street for free, put it in your garage, put a insurance and tracker on it, and you have a free car there. Well, 8 grand or whatever. It's free in the auto shop for the tracker. And brilliant car, great fun for just driving around in the 70s, 80s, 70s style. Cool, pulls decent enough wheelies as well. Obviously, it's pretty slow. That's the main feature of it. It's an old car, therefore it is slow. But so is this one. But I think it looks better. This is a Shyster Deviant. Is that right? Shyster Deviant? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Deviant. I got it right. Amazing. This is one of my favourite customizations on this car, definitely. It's got a few liveries which look decent, but I think blacking out those front lights is excellent. It's always so good when you can do that. I always do it. I doubt I'll ever take it off. Looks very 70s and very crazy. And I like this ducktail as well on it. It's got some decent customization options. Pulls decent enough wheelies, although I think they can be quite tricky. Does some good power slide action. But, you know, overall, it's a decent enough classic car, maybe one for your collection. Get it on discount. It's a cheap enough car anyway. Next, we have one of my favourites. It's a 1950s Ford Coupe. I just reviewed it recently. What's it called? Vapid Clique. It looks like an old person's car. It's a bit of a sleeper, this one. It's a muscle car. It pulls awesome wheelies. Very easy to wheelie it. It's great for drag races. It used to be pretty good for racing as well. In the, was it Sports Classics? Classics? I don't even know. Muscle. What am I talking about? It's in the muscle variety. Okay, so maybe you're not going to race it. It's in muscle. I'm sure I saw videos about people racing this. I've never raced it. Should be honest there. I've really have this for pulling wheelies and doing perhaps drag racing because, you know, it's all right straight line performance against somebody who's unsuspecting. Very nice car. Only down point is customization is a bit weak, but so you've got to limit what you can do with customization. You can't put a spoiler on it for the kind of spoiler advantage. Got another floor yet? I think this is it. This is the top floor. Oh, this is one of my favorites, the Phoenix. You can get this over at the other end of town, over where, if you go south from where the casino is to the arcade, on your way, it's halfway between the casino and Los Santos Tuners. A lot of these appear. They're great. They're free. Pick one up, put it in your garage. It's an excellent, excellent car. This is the Firebird variant of the Phoenix. So it's one of my favourite Phoenixes. The only bad thing is it's not got any liveries, but it's a free car. Of course it's not. I do hope they'll have an updated variant of this car in the future, which is super awesome because it's an amazing car to drive. It is slow, don't get me wrong, but it pulls wheelies nicely. You can do power slides around corners nicely. You can stick the engine out. You can put that engine away and just have a bump in your bonnet. You can considering that it's free, there's some decent enough customization. I mean, it has the bare minimum of what you need to customize it the way you want it. And yes, the internals, you know, it's the older style 2013. It's been in the game forever, but you can make it look nice. And I'd recommend you can go two-tone with a central stripe, but I'm kind of sick of that now. You can also change some of the vents in the front, but I think this is my best build on it, and I really don't want to ever change it now because it looks great and it's great for the garage. It looks amazing. Great car. It looks even better than this car, which you got to pay for. This is, believe it or not, the Beta Dukes, and it's better than the original Dukes. If you get this on discount, just buy it. Because, I mean, I suppose you've got to like the Challenger, and specifically the Dukes of Hazzard Challenger. That's why it's called Dukes, from the 70s. It's brilliant. It's an amazing little car. It looks great. It's not little, is it? It's really long. You can put nice louvers on. These are too modern for it. I've done a modern build. Obviously, these don't suit it for anybody who wants the classic build. No, sorry. You don't want to put your turbos on it. Bear in mind, it's got turbos and a supercharger. So just so that you know, it's not just got turbos in. It's not the 450 Hemi. It's not that. Is it Hemi? 450 Hemi? Is that what it is on the side? I'm just said 450 because I'm reading the side. Supercharged. There we go. Supercharged and turboed. Doesn't go any faster though. But yeah, some good customization. You can also put beaten up panels on it to make it look old and knackered. Great car. Well worth considering. You want to buy it. Oh, and here's one of my favourite looking cars. Indeed, the original Trans Am. Yes, I mean, That one is more, the red one is more Smoking the Bandit. This one is the much older one, and it's called begins with a V, Voodoo, I think. But this has the really wide wheel arches that just is just classic of the 70s kind of car. Look at it, it's beautiful. Look at it, it's amazing. You've got a central stripe yet again in this one, but with the two-tone color if you fancy it. But I didn't fancy it. Actually, I have got two-tone, but not so you'd notice. You can put there's a bit of customization, but the customization is pretty limited, but you don't need it. Again, this costs money though, unfortunately. So I'd buy it when it's on discount, put some nice muscle rims on like these, and then you will have a great time in it. It is more tricky than the others to pull wheelies with, but once you've nailed it, you can pull pretty consistent wheelies and good wheelies as well. Going around cornering is pretty decent, 70s car cornering, so you're going to have a decent amount of slip. So either slow down or expect to smash into oncoming traffic on the other side of the road. Nice, very nice car. Next, we have one of my favourites. This is probably my second favourite Mustang. It's the old, what is it? Oh Christ, is it 350? Oh, you see, it's not. I know what it's not. It's not the. Oh, Jesus, I've lost. See, I knew about this. I've learnt about this car. I've watched a lot of videos about this specific car, and I've already forgot which one it is. The classic Ford Mustang, 1967, I think. But it's also known in the game as, come on, get in, get with the program, man. Dominator GTT. So this is second place to the ASP, but you could still race it against an ASP. You might win if you're lucky, but it's just great. It's pulled great, consistent wheelies, pretty easy to wheelie. Got some very decent customization. Again, it's got the louvres which you can live with or you can take them off. You can put different louvres on there. Again, it's a tuners class, so tuners class racing, but I really wouldn't race it in tuners class, even though I said you could beat the ASP, but I doubt you'd beat anything else with it, because it's got a lot of slip on the corners, much less slip than the ASP, and the ASP is better in a drag race, but this is a great car, more for looks and than for performance, but it still has some decent enough performance considering how old it is. And this is based on the guy Shelby, Shelby's variant, I think, even though the livery isn't a Shelby. I know it's not. I know it's the other one. I can't even remember the name of it. It's in my video. See how quick I forget these facts. I see it's the problem with not growing up with the mythology of the American cars. Anyway, that brings me to the end of the muscle car garage tour. I should have put one in my favourite in at the end, the ASP, but I'm going to take a drive in this one to end it and drive off into the sunset. These are all great cars. I recommend all of them, for different reasons, and some of them are obviously better than the others, such as the Buffalo STX, the ASP, and of course this one, the GTX. I do prefer the Fords, obviously. Come on, get with the program, man. Why are you not pulling wheelies? If you found this useful or enjoyed it, then do drop a like and subscribe. And tell me what your favourite muscle car is. I'm really finding it difficult to pick out my favourites, but I'd say the next one is probably the Vamos for the 70s Classic. I know people hate the handle on it, but I like it when it slides around a corner, funnily enough. But I understand it's tricky. But I like those cars that you've got to actually learn on rather than just be able to drive immediately super easy, like the Buffalo STX. So anyway, give me your comments, as I said, but I hope you have a most excellent day if you're playing GTA. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope that has been super helpful. Have a great day.